Why are we out here in the yard on this beautiful June gloom day here in San Diego? Well, we're going to take this knife and turn it into this knife. I was expressly told that I was not allowed to do this in the house. So we're going to take a look at this. But the first thing we got to do is we got to disassemble this knife. So let's go ahead, go back to the shop and get it took apart so we can start doing this. First things first, we got to get this thing apart. You notice I haven't cleaned it up yet. That's going to be part of the step of the die process. So let's go ahead, get our tools out, get this taken apart. And I'm going to point out to you something I mentioned on the live feed once we get it started taken apart. So all I need on this is a T8. And we're going to get it taken apart, but I'm not going to make you guys watch all of that. I'm going to speed it up. So I'm just going to start taking this apart. Now, I'll tell you that this is the prime opportunity you have to, if you've got this knife apart, to just clean it up a little bit. And I am going to mark these washers because I want to put them in exactly like I took them out. So this is the one side of this is smoother than the other. So yeah, we're going to mark that with a black magic marker. Now, there are a lot of times that these Spydercos with these tubes are hard to take apart. You can take a file and file down the little lip that's on these, but you can also just take out some of the material. Sorry about that. Inside the scale, and I have the garage door open so you can hear car noise. So what you do is while the knife is still got the scales on, you just basically run a file inside the hole and marry it up to the size of the hole in the liner. And you can see one side was tighter than the other on this. So I got it to where now you can take it apart by hand. You don't have to worry about fighting with that. So let's go ahead and go back out to the yard and get this all cleaned up and ready to go. All right, guys, from this point on, while I'm doing this prep, I will tell you, I absolutely recommend that you wear gloves. 2 reasons. I'm going to clean these scales up really good. And that means that I have got to get all the oils and stuff on them. I don't want to put more hand oils and stuff on them. And the other thing too is if you get this on your hands, it is going to stain. So I'm going to get into some attire that I don't care about. And by that, I absolutely mean putting on my apron that I absconded with when I worked part-time at a bar in Japan that I wasn't supposed to work at. So the way this works is we are going to do 7 parts water, 1 part liquid dye. So this is 7 ounces. So therefore, I've got it marked in here, cups, crap. I'm gonna have to do some math. I just looked at my measuring cup and it absolutely has ounces on one side. So we need 7 ounces times 7. That math is easy. I just have to pour. I'm not actually using distilled water or bottled water. I'm just using whatever brand of tap water is currently coming out of my 3, 4. I may need a different pot. This looks like a large pot or a small pot. 5, 6, 7. So first thing we're gonna do is wait for that garbage truck to go past. And we're gonna get the stove turned on and get this water on to boil. So we're gonna take my fire starter necklace. I mean, why wouldn't I have one of those? And get the stove lit. And get this on to start cooking. And while we're doing that, I'm going to clean up the scales. So let's take a look at that. What I need for this is the brush that I left over there and just some regular, whatever cleaner you got. I'm just using some kitchen cleaner because it's just what we had. So let me grab the brush. You tell it has not rained in San Diego for a while. So I've got these scales. We're getting them sprayed down real quick on both sides. I'll pick that one up in a second. So just going to clean these up. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. I'll put it on time lapse. I got the hose over here to rinse them off when I'm done. So the water's starting to get hot. I'm going to go ahead and add the dye. And I read the instructions on this. The fact is, I really don't care about how they've got it listed. I'm doing it completely differently because I'm not dyeing fabric. So by the way, shake the bottle well. Pretty much have got this to temperature. I'm going to bring you guys in for a quick look. I've got to get these wrapped up on the wire so that I can actually get them down in the liquid and cover them. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So I'm just going to give this a quick stir here, and then we're going to drop these in. I watched a video here a few days ago. Zach, when he still was working with Blade HQ, he said he did his for like 30 seconds. We're going to get these soaked in here and give it a few seconds and see. But we're going to take a look at it because I want a deep, dark blue on these. So I think I have too much wire. The wire's in the way. So let's go ahead and get these in. Get them all the way in. And then give them about 30 seconds and then we'll take a look. So I'll speed this up for you so you don't have to watch the full 30 seconds. So this is the 30-second mark. That's not near as dark as I want it. We're going to put them right back in and let them sit for a lot longer. So guys, this is taking significantly longer than I expected. Let's get these pulled out and rinsed off, and I'll show you what we wound up with. So I can see that I've got some spotting that I wasn't expecting. Let's get these over to the hose. And I'll show you what we wound up with. So as you can see, I got a little bit of weirdness on here and I can't figure out why. I'm going to try and brush them off and see if I can even out the consistency of the color. But I'm not disappointed with what I got because it's something I did. It's the first time I ever tried it. I don't know if I did. Maybe I should have soaked them in some isopropyl alcohol for a little bit before, because you can see around the holes, there's a definite different coloration around the holes, and I don't know why. I cleaned them really good, but let's go ahead and let's finish this up and take a look at our final product. Now, before I finish cleaning up and putting everything away, let's take a look at the before and after, because while it's not perfect, I'm pretty happy with this as a first attempt at doing this. So like I said, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it's a first attempt and it's really good. So while this stuff cools off, before I clean up, I'm gonna take that in and put it together, and we're gonna look at the knife assembled and how it looks. But before that, you guys might ask, what do you do with this dye that you've got left over? Well, if you have a neighbor you don't like, you can always take it over, and while they're not looking, you can dump it on their concrete patio, and then they have a big blue spot that they can't figure out where it came from. So let's go ahead and get back into the shop, reassemble this knife, and then I'm going to clean up this mess so that you guys can go home. So there you go, guys, all put back together. This is absolutely a beautiful color. I'm not even really upset that it didn't come out perfect. It could have been that I just didn't get the bath hot enough at the onset, or didn't get it stirred enough. Do not know, but I'm perfectly happy with that. It's going to wear in nice. The knife is not perfect anyway. It came to me with a flaw anyway. It just goes along with, it's flawed, just like me, but goodness, that is a beautiful color on those scales. Looks much better than that teal, that baby blue. What were you thinking, Spyderco? So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. So guys, I am extremely happy with how this turned out. As to say it as my British friend in Leeds would say, I'm chuffed. This thing came out way better than I was expecting. And I'm really, actually, now that I've had it done for a couple hours, I'm just getting around to finishing up the filming the outro. I actually like the fact that it's inconsistent because it's unique. It's no one is going to have one that has those transitions and those little spots of color and stuff like that. It is definitely mine. I love the way this looks. The color seems to have deepened up after I let it dry. So not to make this any longer, you guys can do this. It's not that hard. Just make sure you have the right dye. You want the dye more, more synthetic dye. That's what you want, the liquid stuff. The sapphire blue came out beautiful. Guys, that's it on this one. You know all the ways you can support the channel. I have sponsors. Coffee Brand Coffee, Tempered Trail. I have got an Amazon store down below. Take the link, put it in your browser. Use it for all of your shopping. Just pin it. And I have the tier-based membership where everyone gets a different list of benefits. Everyone has access to the Gilded server. Baseline and premium tier members are entered into giveaways off of the YouTube channel that are separate. And the premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series. Guys, that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.